Chapter 21. Soul Casting Technique. The night passed without incident. Morning arrived. The sunlight was still bright and beautiful. Lin Yuan remembered that the sect had set up a mountain protection array, so whether it was cloudy or sunny, it wouldn't rain in the morning. That's because cultivators at or above the foundation establishment stage needed to absorb the first wisp of purple Qi when the sun rose, which was equivalent to an hour of cultivation. For the sect, anything beneficial to it needed to be well protected. Even if it was an old thief, the Y would make way, let alone a few clouds floating in the air without any roots or foundation. Lin Yuan first went to the law enforcement hall, spent half an hour cleaning up, and didn't encounter Vice Hall Master Zhou. Only a law enforcement disciple named Lan Yue came over for stroll. Lin Yuan didn't mind. Leisurely, he made his way to the outer sect scripture pavilion. Early in the morning, the scripture pavilion was deserted, and an old man was still dozing against the wall. It was hard to imagine why a nascent soul cultivator like him had so much SLE. Epiness. Knock. Knock. Lin Yuan knocked on the wooden door of the scripture pavilion. Nanman Sankhya yawned, glanced sleepily at Lin Yuan.
Elder, I want to exchange for techniques.
Nanman Sankhya casually waved his hand.
Bring the token and find it yourself.
Respectfully, Lin Yuan placed a token in front of the old man and then stood still. Nanman Sankhya casually took the token and gave him a strange look.
What's up?
Master, I would like to request your assistance in finding a martial art.
Lin Yuan remained respectful while slowly activating the rock Qi cultivation technique to restore his spiritual energy. This time, Nanshan Sankhya took a serious look at him and glanced at the name on the token.
Lin Yuan. Sounds familiar.
Nanshan Sankhya recalled seeing this name last month. Back then, this guy seemed to be at the 5th level of Qi cultivation, but now he's at the 7th level. With interest, Nanshan Sankhya scanned Lin Yuan with his spiritual sense, and quickly sensed the spiritual energy fluctuations emanating from him. Nanshan Sankhya suddenly paused, a hint of surprise flashing through his mind. This is the rock Qi cultivation technique. This guy's comprehension is impressive.
What martial art are you looking for?
Nanshan Sankhya casually asked.
I've heard of a profession called Spirit Forger. I am wondering if there are any martial arts related to it in the library.
Lin Yuan bowed respectfully. Nanshan Sankhya's eyes lit up with curiosity.
Where did you hear about spirit forgers?
Lin Yuan replied.
I've just taken on the role of the manager of the Bayou Garden. However, due to the previous manager's actions, the grade of a spiritual field is about to decline. External disciples like myself and the assistant stewards can seek the help of spirit forgers to repair it. However, he searched around and haven't found any spirit forgers, so I am thinking of learning it myself. The sect offers a reward of 10,000 spirit stones for repairing the spiritual field, and I want to obtain it.
Nanshan Sankhya listened to his words without comment, then glanced at him. With only a lower grade yellow tier robe, and a lower grade yellow tier artifact, he appeared to be anything but wealthy. He smiled faintly.
Lin Yuan, right. Do you know how difficult it is to comprehend the spirit forging technique?
I am willing to hear the details.
Lin Yuan replied. With nothing better to do, Nanshan Sankhya, noticing his reasonable comprehension, explained further.
The spirit forging technique is a technique without grades, possessing the power to control creation. By mastering it, one can create precious spiritual energy that can be infused into artifacts to enhance their spirituality, or into materials to improve their quality. It can even be used to create spiritual fields on the land. Everything is forgeable. That is the essence of the spirit forging technique.
Nanshan Sankhya smiled lightly.
That's amazing.
Lin Yuan was genuinely astonished. A simple concept, creating a spiritual field, could yield 30,000 spirit stones.
Do you want to learn?
Nanshan Sankhya teased.
Of course.
Lin Yuan nodded eagerly.
Are you a craftsman?
Nanshan Sankhya asked.
No.
Lin Yuan shook his head.
Are you an alchemist?
No.
Are you a formation master?
No.
Are you a talisman maker?
Neither.
Nanshan Sankhya put on a stern expression.
Then what the hell do you want to learn spirit forging technique for?
Lin Yuan was taken aback and asked in confusion.
What's the relationship between spirit forging technique and those?
Nanshan Sankhya shook his head and chuckled.
To advance in the spirit forging technique, you need to absorb something called spiritual light from each of the 100 arts items you create. Just to get started with the spirit forging technique, you'll need to refine thousands upon thousands of lower grade yellow tear pills, artifacts, talismans, and so on, to accumulate a large amount of spiritual light. And that's just the beginning. The requirements for advancement become even more difficult. Do you still think becoming a spirit forger is easy?
Lin Yuan fell silent upon hearing this. No wonder Nanshan Sankhya and Nanshan Hua were not only spirit forgers, but also craftsmen, alchemists, and talisman makers. To excel in so many professions, one needed not only comprehension but also substantial financial resources and ELS. Haven't you noticed how even the alchemy disciples are in high demand? Nanshan Sankhya yawned.
Don't be so delusional, kid. Just pick any middle grade yellow tear spell. When you break through to the 7th level of chi refinement, you can exchange for one for free.
In his view, Lin Yuan was just an inexperienced cultivator with some comprehension, but to practice spirit forging, financial resources were just as important as comprehension. After a moment of silence, Lin Yuan suddenly had a strange idea. If creating finished products could gar in a bit of spiritual light, could synthesizing items also obtain the so-called spiritual light? After all, synthesizing items was also a way of producing finished products, right? Lin Yuan took a deep breath and said,
Elder, I still want to exchange for the spirit forging technique. And I also want to exchange for the talisman making technique.
Talisman makers required the fewest materials among the 100 arts of cultivation, but that didn't mean talisman making was easy. On a piece of talisman paper, drawing out a complex array of runes, without any mistakes is quite troublesome to imagine. It's like drawing an exact anime character, without pausing for a moment with a pen. Isn't that difficult? And on top of that, continuously inputting spiritual energy makes the difficulty explode. Of course, talisman making is just a smokescreen for Lin Yuan. He only intends to exchange for the spirit forging technique, and then try synthesizing to see if it works.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Nanshan Sankhya mocked, waving his hand, and 2 jade slips flew over from the shelf, landing in front of Lin Yuan with a casual toss.
If you want to learn, go ahead.
Nanshan Sankhya didn't care. Although spirit forgers are extremely rare, the spirit forging technique itself is quite common. As long as you're slightly advanced alchemist or craftsman, try to practice it. But without the talent, you simply won't be able to learn it. Alchemists and craftsmen are just earlified. So while spirit forgers are precious, anyone can learn the spirit forging technique. Lin Yuan took the jade slips with joy and began memorizing the content on them. The content of the jade slips could be directly input into the sea of consciousness, and he could slowly study it later. So Lin Yuan finished memorizing in a few minutes, and returned the jade slips to Nanshan Sankhya.
Thank you, Elder, for your help. I will definitely practice the spirit forging technique diligently.
Lin Yuan bid farewell to Nanshan Sankhya. Nanshan Sankhya didn't care at all and continued to doze off with his eyes closed.